Good morning, this is TCR, TroyCommunityRadio.com. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN for David Denoyer on TCTV. It's time for the Mayor's Report, and back behind the microphone is Mayor Michael Beamish.
Glad to be here. Beautiful day as we're taping this show for a Saturday morning, and thanks for both of you and what you do.
Well, thank you. You had an introduction last night at the Mayor's Youth Council.
Yes, at our Troy City Council regular meeting, we did have an opportunity to introduce the Mayor's Youth Council. Now, we had three parts to that. We had one, we introduced our these are fifth graders that represent their fifth grade schools, including homeschools.
Okay.
And we introduced them, and as new members, it's a 2-year term. So they will finish their year and then another year. We also had I call them returning veterans. These are the sixth graders now that most of them have come to the sixth grade building together. And they shared with council some of their highlights of the first year. And I thought that was really powerful because from a young perspective, they all were discussing things of giving back to a community.
Okay.
And they shared that, and I thought that was very impressive. It was on their own. It was what they felt in their heart. And then we also honored Part C was the those leaving that are now in junior high, getting ready for all their interscholastic activities in their school at the secondary level. So we gave them certificates and medallions of appreciation at the council meeting. So we have a lot of activities. The Mayor's Youth Council is something that's been in place a number of years. It's evolved. It's a 2-year program. We do things to help the community, including the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast. We'll talk later about that. They also participate in different functions like Festival of Nations, the Illumination Parade that we got coming up in November, and soup kitchens, anything that they can do, make a difference day, those kind of things. And then we also ask them to tell us so that we can share with staff and council those things that are good about Troy, that they see as good things about Troy. And then we can also share what can be improved. And they get to give us input. So that's one of the highlights of their experiences each year as well.
Excellent. And then that went on to council then.
We did have council, and we had 3 issues, one resolution, 2 ordinances that we did vote on. We had all members of council present last night, Monday night. And the one resolution is a review of the McCaig Road from Dorset out to 718. There's a stretch of area that it's always been troublesome because one side is county, one side is city, and it kind of intertwines throughout in that stretch. And so we asked council to look at maybe we can have some uniform speed limits. So we're going to do a unified review of that whole stretch so that maybe we can come up with a standard speed limit.
Well, out that direction, it is getting very populated, and with the access coming out of the neighborhoods, just
right.
more than what it was when I was a kid. So certainly, it's, I would say, time to slow down a little bit.
And there's a 25 spot, and then there's a 55 spot, and I understand that because I drive out that way all the time. Now I try to keep a constant speed. Most people do, but there is those different speed limits as you go out.
It could be confusing.
And it's very confusing. So what we're going to try to do is have a review, working with ODOT, the Ohio Department of Transportation, to see if we can come up with a set speed limit for that area that we all understand. And it doesn't matter if you're going eastbound or westbound, you're going to have the same speed limit.
Okay.
And so council obviously thought that was something to really take a look at, and they passed that 9-0. We had 2 ordinances that were in place. One is pretty simple. It was a vacation dedication of a storm sewer easement at 15 North Kings Chapel Drive. and that's for a business so that they can expand their business. It's always good to expand businesses.
Yes.
And to do that, they needed an easement, vacation, and dedication so that they can move forward with the replat process. That was an emergency piece of legislation so that they can move forward. Council subcommittee presented that to full council, and council passed that 9-0 as well. So that'll move forward. Probably the one that still is obviously a lot of confusion here, but what we're trying to do with amendments to the mobile food vendor provisions of our current ordinances that we have, we're trying to open up the opportunities for the food truck businesses, specifically for special events and programs throughout the city, and extending from the 1 hour time limit that we currently have in ordinance in one location at a time to increase it to up to 6 hours.
Okay.
And people, that's confusing. And we also need to understand we have a lot of businesses, restaurant businesses, brick and mortar businesses, that we have to, realize they've been with us, especially in our downtown area. So
built into the downtown.
Built in, very valuable, have great reputations. We want to kind of have a blend of, because food truck business is pretty popular right now.
Yes.
So we're looking to increase the opportunities for them to do business, but also not jeopardize what we have as our standard establishments, and especially like in downtown.
Absolutely understandable.
And but with that, there's transition times. We're trying to be fair to both, and I think our increasing the opportunities is a step in the right direction. And as many council members ask, can we look at this, see how it's going, revisit it? And yes, everything's open. But right now, they passed that 9-0 to increase from the 1 hour to the 6 hour time for special projects, special events, location, all those
things. And that the food truck still has to get the permit to come in and be able to do it.
Yes.
It isn't like they can just cruise into town and set up a parking spot somewhere.
And they have to meet all the health requirements
exactly.
as well. So anyway, I think it's a step in the right direction. It shows that we're forward thinking with the new. It seems like that's a new thing now. With
it has been
see it on
quite,
television.
yes, quite popular.
And yet, we don't want to jeopardize our established brick and mortar businesses as well.
All right, leaf collection going on.
Oh boy!
In full progress. You probably came home to a lot of leaves yourself.
Not really. I understand that leaves weren't falling, and as I look outside today, we've had some frost and things, but the leaves are still green. So I think we're going to be doing our regular leaf circuit throughout the city. I know we're working on round 1, and then we go round 2 and round 3. Usually by round 3, we're in the full cycle. But I understand Tom Funderburg and Jerry were here and gave all the audience an opportunity to understand the whole collection process, the features that we need to ask everybody to cooperate with. You and I have talked about this in the past. We've actually seen it in operation in the past.
A neat piece of equipment that they have.
And we want to protect that piece of equipment. So we ask everybody, and I'll just say this real quickly, move the leaves out into the street so that there is a drainage system into our storm sewer. That's number 1. And don't mix and match. Leaves are in one pile, sticks in another pile. If you want to take out the dye mill, that'll still stay open through November. And if you want to bag them up, we got the bags here at City Hall and True Value where you can pick those up and put the just small stuff in those bags, and they'll be picked up on their regular trash day.
Well, while we're talking about leaf collection, obviously fall, and you can't not know what day it is when you're looking around in downtown Troy today.
Oh, boy.
A couple of things. Not only is it hometown Halloween, but the prayer breakfast.
Yes, and that's good. We have traditionally had the prayer breakfast in the spring of the year. This year, we're looking at some changes, and the First Baptist Church on Norwich has stepped forward. They want to do a prayer and praise breakfast. It's at 9 o'clock this morning. I'm sure there may be tickets available still, but it's an idea of bringing community together spiritually to come together in fellowship and appreciation for what we have. And the different denominations come together, so it's an interdenominational event. And wonderful breakfast. I understand First Baptist puts on a great breakfast. Little plug there. That's at 9 o'clock. Be finished, I'm sure, somewhere around 10:30. And while that's going on, you also mentioned about the downtown, hometown Halloween activities, and we have the Optimist Parade. I'm an optimist, so I want to say that the Optimists always have the parade and costume judging contest. And boy, some of these outfits, and we have a family contest
for the judging. Oh, for the whole family.
For the whole
and
family.
The okay.
Or they can be judged as individuals by age category. There has been in the past, and I'm assuming we'll do this again, a pet contest. Decorate your costume, your favorite pet. See, it's a fun event, and they come downtown. We have our costume judging, and then the kids get to go around downtown and participate with the hometown downtown.
And the merchants are passing out candy.
Oh.
It's just a good time. It
kicks it off.
It's this time of year when you get to see the kids. It's like the last time they're really out playing, and they get to dress up in their costumes, whether it's a superhero or I think Tom Thunderberg suggested toasters. They dress like kitchen appliances.
The more creative you can be, in my experience, the better your chances of winning something too. And so, if you have a creative bone in your body, come up with creative ideas and have the youngsters dress in unique costumes.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to add this morning, Mayor?
Well, we did have a dedication, and unfortunately I wasn't able to be there, but the rescue truck. You may see a new piece of fire equipment traveling around Troy. It is the Troy Fire Department's rescue truck. It is in operation. It was dedicated this past weekend, and it's new.
They had their open house last Sunday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so, again, it's looking at what we need to have to service our citizens and protect them in safe ways. So you may see a different look coming through town. Hopefully we don't have to use it that many times because when it's in use, that means we have an emergency on our hands.
All right. But I'm glad we have it.
I think it's great.
Thank you so much, Mayor.
And Clint, thank you. Dave, thank you for what you do and to promote our city and look at the good things going on.
All right. This has been the Mayor's Report with Mayor Michael Beamish. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN for David Denoyer on TCTV.